Hey, this is part 2 to watching this YouTuber, Mr. Who Set the Boss. Anyway, let's start theorizing. Haha, I'm joking. Okay, full screen, boom.
Satisfy the serious gamers who wanted big screen experiences, not small screen experiences. And at the same time, it was just confusing to more casual players, making the Wii U seem like an add-on for the Wii as opposed to a new console entirely. And 3, it wasn't powerful enough to take on the PS4, but it was powerful enough that when paired with all the other sensors that you need to make this work, it was very expensive, with the deluxe pack that I've got here starting at $450 in today's money. As someone who was a handheld gamer first, I actually loved the Wii U, and I was so unbelievably jealous of those who could pre-order it and actually hold one of these in their hands. But
sorry, guys.
This was a complete and utter failure, selling less than any other Nintendo home console in history. Oh no! But it's funny how these things work, because for the second time, right after Nintendo's biggest failure, they were about to have their biggest success. The Nintendo Switch.
Oh, I have one of those.
Idea to the Wii U before it, but it's just the extra 5 years of tech advancements that had happened since then allowed Nintendo? That'd be a funny joke.
Please subscribe to this YouTuber.
The extra 5 years of tech advancements.
Uber, he's such a good YouTuber, you really should. But anyway, can you please subscribe to me? It will help me a lot. You don't have to if you don't want to. Can you just like, subscribe, and just please like and subscribe. And maybe in a bit, maybe in the weeks, on Friday next week, it's my birthday, I will do a long, about 1 hour video of me videoing what I've been doing on my birthday, okay? See you in 10, 9, I've got lost count, okay, just 3, 2, 1, go.
Since then, allowed Nintendo to actually execute the concept properly.
I have one of these for
you get a power cable and then a bunch of accessories for, would you believe it,
I have that one.
A new type of controller, the Joy-Cons, and then the console, which is a little different. Right, I'm just going to say it now. I think the Nintendo Switch is the most intelligently designed console on this planet. The idea is the same as the Wii U, of being able to play your games either on the big screen or in handheld, but because the power is located in the handheld itself, as opposed to having to stream it over Wi-Fi, you can take this console anywhere and instantly resume your game from where you left off. All while it charges up your Joy-Cons automatically. But it gets better, because the way these Joy-Cons are able to separate from the console and can work independently by just flipping them sideways means that you can have multiplayer gaming. And then the cherry on top is that by embedding them with gyro sensors, they've even managed to recreate the motion controls of the Wii and the Wii U without needing to stick a fiddly sensor on top of your TV. Now, the Switch is not super impressive to the nerd within me, with a pretty crummy display by smartphone standards, and occasional issues with the Joy-Con joysticks drifting even when you're not touching them, and also just the simple fact that this is not a big power upgrade, being only about 1.5 times the power of the Wii U, or about 317,000 times the power of the NES, which, when you put it that way, actually sounds really impressive. But the key thing is that in the exact same way that Nintendo managed to separate themselves from Sony and Xbox with the Wii, by targeting a completely new type of gamer, the Switch has also been separated by being a legitimate handheld console in its own right. Now, all that stuff about power said, this is still a definitively better gaming experience than the Wii U. It's a combination of modern graphical techniques, of more advanced ways to interact with the environment, more complex games.
Yeah, I play games on this like Minecraft, Fortnite, Roblox, not Roblox,
like the way that I can spin
Friday the 13th, but I'm not doing this on if you like, if I get 3 more subscribers, I would do guess what? I would do my favourite game ever. I can't even text. Big. Okay. Chris. Yes, me. Yes, me on. It's yes, I am. someone text you on off my iPad. Who the hell's that? Yeah, these are just on Dad mobile. Okay, anyways, sorry guys, I was just reading some of my messages, wherever I can speaking problems.
And Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm not even surprised that this thing has already sold 111 million units, and we're only partway through its life cycle. I don't think I've ever seen a more beautiful sight than what I'm looking
It's like
at right now.
steps.
Except maybe this app called Honey Game. It's a genuinely fascinating concept.
Nope,
When
ad.
you install the app on your device, it runs as a background task, allowing you to share.
No ads. Naughty. No addies. Okay, guys. Thanks you so much for watching. Do you want to do the PlayStation one next video, or do you want to do a different, like some shorts? You know what? Let's do some shorts now. Okay, let's watch some shorts now then. Let's go on you. Let's watch him.
Make a custom PS5 in 60 seconds.
Oh,
You add a sticky pad around the logo. Then
that feels really scary.
And you carefully align the LEDs around it. Okay, that looks cool. But there's another option that I think is even better. This is the custom LED mod for the entire PS5. So that's the left side, that's the right side. To wire it through like this. Peel off the tape on the back. Seems almost too easy. Okay, let's put the plates back on. Not these plates. We're actually going to install dark plates, which makes the whole thing more compact. And this one is themed to match the color of the original PlayStation 1. And 2 more things to go. First being a custom stand. Now, what are you going to do? Okay, so this attaches to the bottom of your existing PS5 stand. Slip this in. Okay, final thing before we turn it all on, and it is the best way to add more PlayStation to your PlayStation. Wow. Oh my gosh. You can see the LEDs in the fan as well. The base is cool too. I can cycle a whole bunch of different colors and modes. I'm going to make a custom PS5. It's my mom's birthday today. Any chance I can take one of these flowers?
We already watched this. Sorry, guys.
But any item I say, sword, I get. There's no way this actually works. What? Diamonds? I literally have so much power! My dad. Yeah, I didn't think so. A village. Water bucket! Oh, that was close. By the way, in order for us to win, we have to beat the Ender Dragon in less than 5 minutes. I'm finally kitted up. It's literally impossible for me to lose. It's already been 3.5 minutes. Ender Eyes. Oh, this is gonna be too slow. Screw it. I'm just gonna build it right here. I don't have time for this! Vince! Perch! With not enough time to wait for the dragon to perch, I had to come up with a new strategy. Normally crossbows wouldn't do anywhere near the amount of damage I needed. That is, unless you didn't use arrows. Gunpowder! By using fireworks instead, I could get more than twice as much damage. This better be enough! Yeah! Minecraft, but any item...
Wait a minute. Peter didn't shoot my son. I did. Peter was just taking the blame for me. He's a good friend.
Mr. Brown, what exactly are you saying?
I'm saying that I, Cleveland Brown, a black man, shot Cleveland Brown Jr., another black man.
Wait, where did everybody go?
You want to make the media go away? Just mention black-on-black crime.
Boy, the world we live in, huh?
Brian, reach into Meg's pocket.
Go ahead, Brian.
I don't wanna.
Do
Wait
it.
a minute.
We got a package. This is probably the most expensive phone accessory I've ever bought. Let's check it out. We'll use our appropriately sized knife and get this thing open.
Not worries, I won't do
If
that.
you can't already tell, this is a screen protector. It's not just any screen protector.
Oh,
a
it's 9 minutes. Oh, it's
$100
fine.
screen protector. Why is it $100? Because it's made of pure sapphire. The
Okay,
only
I'm
thing
watching
stronger
a
than sapphire
actual
is literally diamond.
video. You can be here. Let's do let's just do this one. Yes, please start. There's YouTube Shorts. visit.
Family Guy has been on the air
You
for
get to
17 seasons now, and is without a doubt one of the best-loved cartoon comedies out there. But even though it has been around for so long, there are still some facts about the show that might just knock your socks off, even if you're a super fan. You might think that Chris Griffin is just another teenager trying to make his way through high school alive, but actually there's something pretty messed up about him that might just surprise you. Seth Green, who has voiced Chris since the beginning, actually based the character's voice off of none other than Buffalo Bill, the super disturbing serial killer from The Silence of the Lambs.
What's the problem, officer?
He had been playing around with the impression with a few friends of his, and they actually dared him to do it in the audition. If that doesn't make you think differently about Chris, the fact that he later recreated a famous scene from the movie on an episode of Family Guy sure will. Now that the show has been on for so many years and is such a part of television history, it's pretty much impossible to imagine anyone else voicing the iconic characters we know so well. But Brian Griffin could have sounded very, very different, because none other than William H. Macy auditioned for the role.
You darn tootin'.
The character most closely associated with Seth MacFarlane himself was almost somebody else. Apparently, Macy heard about the show and was really interested in the role, but the show wasn't given much money to do their pilot, and they couldn't afford the already famous actor. The role went back to Seth. We wonder just how differently the character of Brian would have evolved over the years with someone like Macy behind him. We see the Griffin family sit down around the dinner table and eat. A lot. You'd think that after 17 seasons they'd mix things up a little, but in reality, the family literally eats the same thing every single time they sit down at the table. If they're not out at a restaurant, every dinner in the Griffin household is made up of mashed potatoes, peas, and 3 pieces of an unnamed meat. This is probably because it looks best in the animation style and makes things a little bit easier. But seriously, you'd think they'd be tired of it by now. We've all tried to get on that meal prep bandwagon, but by day 3 of the same chicken and broccoli, we can't even stand to look at it anymore. Imagine the same meal every night for almost 2 decades. Of course, being cartoon characters and totally fictional probably does help a bit. While we all know that the writers behind Family Guy aren't afraid to push
To be Got Curls Beach Wave Spray. For soft and moisturized waves. Got to be Got Curls.
Get that Black Friday feeling. Up to 40% off. Starts Friday at Amazon.
button out there, believe it or not, there is actually a lot that they aren't allowed to say, at least on television. That's why there are actually 2 versions of almost every episode, the one that airs on TV and then the one that goes on the DVDs and streaming services. One particularly edgy gag that involves a promo for The Simpsons that is interrupted by Quagmire running onto the screen and having his way with Marge before killing the whole family never made it to TV. We wonder why. We know there's a legendary Simpsons Family Guy feud going on, but come on, man! What did Marge ever do to anybody? Like we mentioned before, Family Guy has been airing for all of 17 years, which is a pretty amazing gig for all the actors and crew who have been along for the ride. As an actor, it's rare to get a job that lasts 2 months, let alone 2 decades, especially when you consider the fact that in 2013, it was revealed that each cast member rakes in $175,000 to $250,000 per episode, and that was 6 years ago. So there is no doubt whatsoever that it has gone up since then. While they definitely work hard, it's still a pretty amazing salary for a job that you can go to in your pajamas, no less. Much like the food they eat, the characters in Family Guy have been rocking their signature look since the first moment we saw them. Who would Lois be without her green button-up and khakis? Or Quagmire without his Hawaiian shirt? Or Meg without her famous pink hat? But what you might not realize is that Peter has actually been wearing a woman's blouse the entire time. While it might seem like a minor detail, you'll notice that his shirt actually buttons up on the right side, which only women's styles are known to do. Maybe it was an animation mistake that they had to stick with, or maybe Peter just prefers a breezier fabric and a more flattering cut. We'll never know. Whatever the reason, Peter seems to have found his signature look, and it's still working for him after all these years. Meg has been the butt of the joke for as long as we can remember, and while she may not be the best character out there, we never really got why they treated her so badly. Sure, she's no Connie D'Amico, but she's nice enough, and hasn't done anything so terrible that wasn't spurred on by her family's antagonizing anyway. Well, Seth MacFarlane actually answered the question, and the answer isn't great. He said that the writers of the show had no idea how to write for a teenage girl, and so their solution was just to make fun of her all the time. Another solution might have been to, hire someone who could write for her. all of Seth MacFarlane's voices have become iconic at this point, not only for their uniqueness and distinction, but for how many he can seem to do, and how easily. So where do all of these voices come from? Does he just make them all up? Well, the origin of Peter might surprise you. His exaggerated Rhode Island accent was actually inspired by a security guard who worked at the college that MacFarlane went to, the Rhode Island School of Design. He used to imitate the man's voice for his friends, who got such a kick out of it that it became a regular part of his repertoire, and would eventually become one of the most well-known voices in cartoon history. If you're a true Family Guy fan, you've seen all of the episodes, including the very rough first season. It's notable for its less sophisticated animation style, and slightly different voices for all the characters. The most notable difference is, of course, Meg, who wasn't voiced by Mila Kunis until season 2. But what you might not know is that her original voice is actually Lacey Chabert. That doesn't ring a bell? How about Gretchen Wieners? That's right, Lacey went on to star as the heir to the toaster strudel fortune in the iconic movie Mean Girls, after her departure from Family Guy. Most TV shows strive to make it onto all of the best of lists out there, but there's one very different kind of list that Family Guy has been on a record number of times, for which they are probably quite proud of. That's right, an organization called the Parents Television Council has named Family Guy Worst Show of the Week, a record-breaking 44 times for all sorts of content that they deem inappropriate. While some might be upset to be included on a list like that, we'd bet money that Seth MacFarlane and his crew strive to stay on it. Amidst all of the gags and cutaways and 10-minute-long chicken fights, Family Guy actually isn't afraid to make a statement every now and again. And usually, these statements come from Brian, who it's known shares the same opinions as his creator, Seth MacFarlane. One statement in particular had quite the impact back in 2009. In the aptly titled episode 420, Brian advocates for the legalization of marijuana, with a very catchy song, Bag of Weed, a remix on the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang original song, Me Ol' Bamboo. The song earned Brian the title of Stoner of the Year from High Times Magazine.
Oh, guys. La 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 la.
It seems like Brian was really on to
Okay, guys. This video's ending because of Family Guy. Yeah, don't ask why I have a spoon. Just pretend I didn't, okay? Okay. Bye, guys. See you in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.